Potassium, an essential mineral, is found in certain fruits, veggies and legumes. Not only is potassium an essential mineral, it's also an electrolyte that will help you recover from workouts and keep your muscles working properly. And you can find potassium in a bunch of delicious, healthy foods, dietitians say. We need potassium for blood pressure regulation, muscle and nerve function, fluid and electrolyte balance, bone health and heart health. In the body, potassium acts as the counterpart to sodium, another electrolyte. Shelley Wegman, registered dietitian at UNC Rex Nutrition Services, tells Today.com. While sodium maintains the proper fluid levels outside your cells, potassium regulates fluid levels inside your cells, she says. We need the right amount of both minerals, not too high and not too low, to maintain a proper balance. But, generally, those of us in the US get far more sodium than potassium in our diets, Wegman says. So, if you're one of the many folks trying to lower your sodium, eating more potassium can help. Luckily, you'll find potassium in a lot of delicious and nutritious foods, says Derica, who is a spokesperson for the National Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Look to fruits, vegetables, leafy greens and legumes to get a good dose of potassium in your day. How much potassium should you eat? The amount of potassium you should eat in a day depends on your age and gender. Adult women should aim to get about 2,600 milligrams of potassium per day, Derica says, while men are recommended to get 3,400 milligrams daily. But many Americans are falling short of their potassium adequate intake, largely due to low fruit and vegetable consumption, Derica explains. We generally get a much higher sodium and lower potassium diet, Wegman says. And that has been linked to an increased risk of dying from a heart attack. Health benefits of potassium. Potassium is an essential mineral, meaning we need it for our bodies to function properly. It's known to play a role in heart health and blood pressure regulation. For example, potassium helps lower blood pressure by promoting vasodilation, which is a widening of the blood vessels. Potassium also has a major hand in proper muscle and nerve functioning, the experts say. Your body needs it for nerves to send signals, Derica notes, adding that potassium also helps minimize muscle cramps. And potassium is particularly important for athletes because it's an electrolyte, meaning it's necessary for proper hydration. This mineral also helps bolster bone health, Derica says, because it helps reduce calcium loss via urine. Potassium-rich diets, particularly those with fruits and veggies, she says, are linked to better bone mineral density and a lower risk of osteoporosis. However, keep in mind that it is possible to get too much potassium, which can even be toxic in some circumstances, Wegman says. Folks with certain health conditions, especially kidney conditions, as well as those taking specific medications should be careful when increasing the amount of potassium they eat, the experts caution. Foods high in potassium. Potassium is relatively easy to find in whole foods, the experts say. You want to be thinking about unprocessed foods, Derica notes, because more highly processed foods typically have added sodium. Specifically, look for vegetables, fruits, leafy greens, beans and lentils for a good amount of potassium. Baked potato. One medium baked potato, with the skin, provides about 925 milligrams of potassium, Derica says. That's around 1/3 of your daily recommended amount, making this food a biggie in the world of potassium, she says. Spinach. Dark, leafy greens are a good source of potassium, the experts say. And spinach is one of the most plentiful places to get that mineral. In 1 cup of cooked spinach, you'll find 839 milligrams of potassium. White beans. High in both gut-healthy fiber and potassium, white beans are a good place to get potassium, too. Just a cup of white beans has 829 milligrams of potassium, Derica says. Cannellini beans, lima beans and kidney beans are all potassium-rich beans, Wegman adds. Apricots, particularly dried apricots, are another potassium-rich food that can help with blood pressure, Wegman says. With 755 milligrams of potassium in just a half cup of dried apricots, you get a lot for a little with this stone fruit. Apricots also have a surprisingly large amount of protein, as Today.com explained previously. Lentils are rich in fiber and many other nutrients, including potassium. With 731 milligrams in 1 cup of cooked lentils, they're one of the best sources of potassium you can find. Avocado. An avocado is full of healthy fats and minerals, including both potassium and magnesium. In 1 medium avocado, you'll find almost 700 milligrams of potassium. Acorn squash. An often overlooked vegetable, acorn squash is a great source of potassium, Wegman says. In just a cup of cooked squash, you'll find 644 milligrams of heart-healthy potassium. Coconut water. Relatively low in sugar and high in electrolytes, you can think of coconut water as a more nutritious alternative to sports drinks, Derica says. In just 1 cup, 8 ounces, of coconut water, you'll get 600 milligrams of potassium, she says. Yogurt. Plain, traditional yogurt is another potassium-rich food, Derica says, with 573 milligrams per cup. Greek yogurt contains some potassium too, she says, along with a bigger dose of protein. Sweet potato. As with white potatoes, sweet potatoes also contain potassium. While they have less potassium than other potatoes, about 542 milligrams per medium sweet potato, they compensate with other healthy nutrients. In particular, sweet potatoes are known for having a large amount of beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A. Oranges and orange juice will both provide a substantial amount of potassium. While a cup of orange fruit will get you about 326 milligrams of potassium, a cup of orange juice will net you nearly 500 milligrams. But keep in mind that orange juice will also contain more sugar than the fruit. Bananas have a reputation for being high in potassium. And while they're not at the top of the list, bananas are a good source of this mineral, providing about 422 milligrams per medium fruit. Salmon. Rich in healthy fats and filling protein, salmon is also a hefty source of potassium with 326 milligrams in a 3-ounce serving. Chicken and beef also contain some potassium, but much less than salmon. Prune juice. Prunes, which are dried plums, and prune juice both have a ton of benefits for your digestive system. And they are both high in potassium. While a serving of prunes contains 350 milligrams of potassium, a serving of prune juice gives you a whopping 707 milligrams of potassium. Carrot juice. As with orange and prune juice, carrot juice also packs a potassium punch. A cup of chopped carrots provides a little over 400 milligrams of potassium, while a cup of carrot juice provides nearly 690 milligrams of the mineral. If you have certain health conditions, talk to your doctor about potassium. It is possible to go overboard on potassium, and having too much or too little in your body can lead to serious issues, the experts warn. Normally, your kidneys are able to do the work, as the natural filtration system of our body, to get rid of extra potassium, Derica says. But folks with kidney issues may have a harder time filtering that mineral out, so they should be careful and consider talking to their doctor before increasing their potassium intake. Some common medications, including NSAIDs and ACE inhibitors, can also affect the way your body processes potassium, Wegman notes, so you do have to be careful. Please subscribe and share for more. Thank you.